Hey, welcome back to the table. So I'm trying something new. I lowered my camera boom by quite a bit, so I'm a lot closer to the game board. I'm actually not zoomed in. I'm literally the camera is just closer. Um, there's a glare here, which I don't know if I can do anything about that. Um, I wish I had perfect lighting like those people who actually make money on YouTube get to do, but that's not the case for me here. If I shut that, I think it gets way too dark. Yep, that's way too dark. So I do rely on that lighting to be able to see and for the rest of the camera to work. So we'll just have to manage that. I do think that this is going to work. And a couple of updates since the other thing is that obviously when I put cards on, it's going to look a lot bigger. Compared to the relative screen, I won't be able to like have the cards side by side, not at least not as easily, although I could probably swing it over here and still get it to fit in. But you get to see where the action on the board is quite well. And I had tried something to prevent the camera from disconnecting. And I was just going to give credit to the viewer who explained to me that there's a power setting for USB ports. And I thought for sure I had figured it out and was all excited, and it just disconnected on me. So I still don't know what's going on there. I've recorded hours and hours of video with these exact cables and these exact USB ports, and have never had it disconnect on me like it's doing right now. But it's disconnecting, and it's really driving me nuts. Um, so the camera, I think it'll be an issue even if I use the tripod system. Um, so apologies for that. Couple of rule questions that came up. First of all, I gotta pause 1 second. Okay, back. First rule question was somebody saw in the rule book that they thought that these were the scouts and the scouts and the trucks were not piece limited or component limited, and it's really awfully worded in the rule book. It says that that the number of scouts. Oh, the way the yeah the rulebook is worded in a weird way where it makes it look like it's not piece limited, but it is piece limited. That's the thing. So we have been playing it correctly. The actual wording is the counter mix does limit your purchases. So it's real easy to infer that it meant to say does not limit your purchases, but the counter minute limit does limit your purchase. It's really weird English language the way it's written, and it's the same way in Tiger Leader and in Sherman Leader. But I just wanted to let you know that that part is correct. But somebody did point out a rule issue that actually would have helped me immensely in that last mission, and that had to do with the 88. So when we start the mission, as you know, there's an automatic advance that everybody gets to do. And well, not everybody, but you know what I mean. Some of the units get to automatically advance when we start the mission. And I'm pulling it up real quick um, so I can give you the exact wording. So after you figure out the enemy aggression level and you place your units, um, each of your anti-tank and MG units get one movement order. And then each of your rifle units get two movement orders. And so maybe some of you have already seen or figured out my mistake here, but my 88. Let me put it underneath the camera here. My 88 is an anti-tank gun. See how it says that right here? Anti-tank gun. So each of your anti-tanks gets to move forward, but that's not how it works. It's an artillery. So artillery doesn't get to move forward, and that's the part that uh, I admit it confused me. But what is an anti-tank? There is nothing that's labeled anti-tank on the side like that. So it can be, I mean, you could really interpret that either way. And I interpret it as, hey, I got an anti-tank gun, so I get to move forward. Another point of view is, no, 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 that's an artillery. It doesn't get to move forward. What they're referring to is like your armor. If you have an anti-tank armor, it gets to move forward. But I'm not so certain about that. And so I did respond to the viewer and said that I thought they were right. But after looking closer at the rules, I'm not so sure that they're right. And that's because I don't know what else an AT would be. Because also an MG unit. What's an MG unit? Well, you don't know what an MG unit is unless you look at the, see right here? It says machine gun on the top. So that's how I know that's an MG unit. It's labeled as an infantry otherwise. So I just wanted to let you know that I think it's an extremely valid question, but I think that the fact that it says AT means that we should have moved the 88, or we could have moved the 88, and we did. Now, should I have moved the 88 is the better question, and the answer is no, I shouldn't have. I should have stayed back. The 88 shoots 3 spaces away. I really could have done a ton of damage without needing to do what I did. Okay, so with that said, and I'm just fixing some of my components here off camera. One last question that came up in between videos is this entrenched card. And this was the card that we drew post-combat. And you know what? The viewer is correct and I was wrong. Look at this. Add 2 to the defense rolls of all enemy units next battle. And what I thought that meant was that they get 2 to their defense values. So therefore it was going to be harder for us. But really what that is that gets that makes it harder for them to defend our attacks. So this is actually a good card for us. Adding 2 to their defense rolls means that if they only have a defense value of 3, they can only ever defend if they roll 1. Normally they defend with a 3 or less, but now they got to roll 1 or less because they're adding 2 to all their defense rolls. So I don't remember. I think it was Drew. If you're watching, that was a really good eye, and you're correct. We actually have a huge advantage in the next battle, not a disadvantage. So that card is moving from the sucks to the doesn't suck category. So well done there, because you know what? I never would have picked that up. I think I would have just moved forward thinking, you know what? We're screwed. They're going to have like a really high defense value over the next battle, and they're not. Okay, I think that covers all the questions, comments, and concerns. Sometimes it's really beneficial to go a day or two in between your missions because, some of you make the comment that I record faster than you can watch, and that is true because if I can get a nice afternoon to play, I'll crank out 6 hours worth of videos all in one afternoon, and then I work for the whole week, and then I do it again. But sometimes it's nice to take a pause because you guys asked some excellent questions and pointed out some things that I don't think I would have realized. All right, so we take off all the tiles and my camera froze up once again. Very frustrated with that. I'm going to actually try to change my USB cord. I did get another one out just in case, so I'm going to do that right now. And let's see if this one makes a difference. Of course, I need to be able to plug it in. All right, so my main camera is currently unplugged from the computer. So bear with me. Actually, you know what I can do? I can pause. Okay, new USB cord plugged in. Let's see if the camera lasts longer than 5 minutes for now. All right, so I removed the tiles, and somebody actually suggested putting them in a pillowcase and shuffling them that way. That's actually an excellent suggestion. I don't particularly have a pillowcase that I can grab real quick, so I'm going to just stick with my, I'm going to stick it underneath and then just do halvesies here. And so We're going to go ahead and do the next mission, and I just need to make sure I grab the right card. We were going to do the one that prevents us from losing 2 SO points. Where did I put that? Okay, we destroyed the one that was up front. That's the good. This is one of the ones I know we want to eventually take out, because that's going to make us lose our command tactics. That one stinks. Here's another one that's going to make us lose command tactics. Also stinks. And oh, here it is. I put it right in a spot where I wouldn't forget it, right? This is the one we're going after next. So lose 2 SO points during the adjust SO point step. I don't want to lose 2 SO points. I think that isn't fun. So we're going to try to take him down. At least need to get him to half strength. So you may notice that some of those words are yellow. It's a really brilliant thing DVG did. So in the original Ground Leader game, especially Thunderbolt, the rule states that when you get it to half strength, the text on the card no longer applies. Well, technically speaking, the fixed keyword always applies. And technically speaking, where it says 2 experience points, if it does say that, you're going to get 2 experience points for destroying it. Like, for example, this one. You're going to get an experience point for destroying it. So some of these things are common sense, but the rule said that you ignore the text. So some people weren't giving themselves experience points and all this other crazy stuff. So they just decided, you know what, we're going to say ignore the text that's not yellow. And it makes sense. It's brilliant. And it sort of just satisfies everybody. So if it's yellow, even if it's half strength, those portions of the text are still going to be in effect. Oh, excuse me. I am jamming in a late night recording tonight, so I apologize for that yawn. All right, let's go here. We're going to put the battalion card right here. And let's do this in order. We're drawing our event cards. Let's do that right now. Okay, so what we got is, if this battalion is not destroyed during the move battalion steps, add 3 to its roll, which means it's going to have a real good chance of moving forward. And my new USB cable didn't make a lick of difference. My camera disconnected again. So the power settings didn't make a difference. The new USB cable didn't make a difference. So something's going on with that particular camera, and I don't know what it is. I'm going to try one more thing and hit pause. Okay. I spent quite a few minutes trying to sort out this problem, and I can't figure out anything that I'm doing differently than the dozens of hours that I've played this before. Okay, so we got our event. Not a bad one. Basically, if we don't destroy this battalion, it's going to get a bonus to its movement. This particular battalion is 7C. And I know you can't see it anymore, but it's on the front line, so no SO point penalty for attacking it. And we place our turn counter, so we're using our other scouts, so we're going to get 6 turns for this one. So we move up to 6, and let's place our terrain tiles. So I'm going to do what I did before, where I cut it to half, and then I'm just going to draw from each one, and just like clockwork, camera dead again. Jeez Louise. Yeah, no idea what's going on there, folks. I wish I did. All right, so first thing we got is a bogging. So yeah, the glare is really bad on these tiles, but roll when entering, and basically you're going to be stuck for the battle, or you stop acting, or no effect. The good news is it goes here, so it's for the enemy. I have no idea if if that affects them the same way. I'm assuming it does. So there's the tile we had last time. And then we got another bogging. So a whole bunch of marsh. I do find it interesting how this is playing out. And then this is some light terrain or light. So we actually have some light cover spots that we could maybe take advantage of. And that's our terrain for this battle. I give them credit. These new tiles are definitely keeping it interesting. Okay, so what do we got for our lineup? I'm just trying to clean up my table here so I have everything as organized as I can be for this battle. So I'm coming up with a system where I'm putting my commander above the unit so I can see everything. I know you can't see what I'm doing right now, and I apologize. Let me get this situated. And then I like to keep a spot in the middle so I can reach the table without bumping my components. All right. So here we go. We got up first is just a plain old transport, just like the last battle. Albrecht is the commander, and he has no bonuses whatsoever. He's green, and he gets a -1 to his stress cool value. So there is no road this time, and so I'm going to put the transport there. You know what? There's no reason not to put it here because that's light cover. All right, and then I have a rifle team. Now remember, the rifle team can move forward 3 spaces if I want it to. And right there you can see -2 attack if they move and attack. They have a defense value of 2. They hit on a 7 and 6. And as far as the commander goes, we have an aggressive commander. Aggressive just means that they can move and attack without suffering stress. So I can move those guys if I need to. He gets a better bonus if they're in the same hex, excuse me, as the enemy. So remember, when you place your rifle team, you can actually advance twice. I see no advantage to advancing twice, and in fact, last time that got us in a lot of trouble. But I am going to advance him once and put him in cover here. With these bog areas here, I think we want to steer clear of these as much as we can. And since we have 2 light cover, we actually have a huge advantage over them in terms of us having cover and they don't. Now, how much is cover really going to help us? Not much, to be quite honest. I got another MG nest, and this guy's a medic. He's Ziegler, and he's an awful green level. He has a -1 to his cool and a -1 to a range 0 attack and a +0 at a range 1. So we just need to get him some experience points. So we're going to put him also in the light cover right there. And then the camera just disconnected again. All right. Next up is our artillery. It's 105 millimeter. It hits on a 6.6, and here's our commander. So again, this guy is not very, he's just average, and he has a +1 when he's hitting from more than 1 space away, which is what you want your artillery to do. He has tactics ×2, which is awesome, right? Well, there's those 2 cards we showed at the beginning where you lose a tactic, and there's 2 of them. So he loses both of his tactics at the start of the battle because of those 2 other battalions, which we're probably going to prioritize next week. Okay, so I'm going to put the artillery here. I probably should put it here. It doesn't matter too much. He has a range of 3. But I'm going to go ahead and put it there. And then we have our Panther. And Koch, I don't know how to pronounce that in German. He's a +1/+1. So he's just as good at range as he is up close. So very different than our other Panther who needed to get into the battle. And I will also put him here. So we have 5 units that we're putting on. We're going to be a little bit more cautious this time. We're not going to just advance like bat out of hell like last time. Okay, so they have 4 rifles. So I didn't even put away the units from last time. So 4 rifle units I just put there. And then they're going to have 2 tanks, which their tanks are pretty good, these American tanks. We don't want to mess with those. They hit on against armor at a 2 or less. 2 anti-tanks, 2 half-track, and 2 buildings. So I got to get those out. So anti-tanks. So there's AT gun and then there's AT. So I'm going to assume that they're AT. And the AT is actually infantry. So let me show you these new units. So they attack at a 2 against armor piercing at a range of 1. But against soft targets, it's a 7. So they're really bad against soft. So we'll put those up there. And then what else did we say? 2 buildings. The buildings are... I found one of them. I'm just looking for the other one. It was turned over to its destroyed side. That's what a building is. Looks like it's upside down there. So you can see it does an armor piercing of 5, 2 spaces away. That's pretty good. But its soft attack is only 5, obviously range 2. Has a defense of 4 though. It's a really good defense. And it's pretty equal against both soft and hard. And buildings, I'm sure, aren't going to be allowed to move. And that's right, half tracks. And it's exactly what we thought it was. They were who we thought they were. So it's like our transport units. You can see there's no armor piercing at all. They shoot at range 1 and they have a soft attack of 5, so they're a little better than us. Their defense is only 2, and they are considered a hard target. So armor piercing is used against them. All right, so this is all their units. They actually have quite a few. All right, I'm going to roll for the 2 ATs first. And that's a 10 and 2. So a 10 is here, and a 2 is there. And as far as bogging purposes goes, it says roll when entering. I'm not going to assume that they just entered now. I'm going to do that for if they were to move into that later. Now for their 2 tanks. Oh, look at that. Isn't that cool? All right, so it disconnected and actually reconnected on its own. I was just getting ready to reconnect it, and it disconnected while I was in the middle of a die roll. Interesting. So there's definitely something going on with my USB ports. I don't know what. My apologies. 5 and 4. So 5 puts us... Oh, no, not there. Well, the 4 puts us there. And then the 5 puts them right here. So that's an interesting divide. Let's do the 2 buildings. 10 and 6. So 1 building is going to be here. And 1 is going to be there. And then whatever these are, the half tracks, a 1 and a 3. So these guys are a lot further back. And then we're going to do the rifle units. 2, 4, 5, and 9. So one of them's in the heavy cover. Okay, so I'm looking at my units. I forgot to point this out, but all my units are slow. So in terms of having fast attack guys, we have none. So that's not good. The only good thing for us is that we're pretty far back from them. So they're going to have to move up a bit to be able to hit us. But now, Let's make sure I did everything. So now we do fast move and attack. There is no fast move and attack. So we're going to roll for enemy move. But first, before we do that, we got to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and roll. And you see I just rolled a 6. And what's interesting is now my other camera disconnected. Interesting. It's saying encoding overload. All right. Okay, so that was supposed to be showing up on your screen, and for whatever reason, now I'm having trouble with the other camera. So, man, oh man, I apologize for the technical difficulties here, but okay. So as you can see, I rolled a 6, so that means we're going to be rolling a 10-sided die for their movement orders. So not necessarily a good thing for us, but let's go ahead and get going. So main camera's down. And now we're back. My, oh my. All right, so we got an 8 for our roll. And so that means we're going to be doing this. And one more second, I'm going to pause. Okay, back. Testing, 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 testing. All right. So here we go. So for tank, anti-tank, and armored car, it advances if it cannot attack. All right, so their tanks have a range of 3. So 1, 2, 3, it can attack. So this tank's not doing anything. The other tank does need to do something, so it's going to advance, like so. All right, and so it's in range, 1, 2, 3. And then anti-tank is next, and that would be the infantry unit. And so they're going to advance. It says advance if cannot attack. Yep, so this one has a range of 2. He's going to advance into the building. He still cannot attack, though. And the other anti-tank is here, and he's going to advance, and he will be able to attack now that he advanced. Okay, the HE advance for rifle, half track, and MG. They do an HE advance, so they're going after our infantry, or soft targets. So this rifle will advance. It can't attack. This rifle will advance. It's now in range. And somebody had mentioned using my bingo tokens. So these 2 units have advanced, so they're going to get a penalty whenever they attack. And this unit also advanced. So let's keep track of which ones, are going to get a penalty to their attack. And I may have to grab some more blues because I don't have that many. But it's a good idea. I like that idea. This half track has to advance. It'll go into heavy cover. It cannot attack anybody. This rifle will go into heavy cover. This half track will advance, and then we're going to roll a die for him. I rolled a 7. So he stops acting, which would mean he doesn't get to attack, but he is out of range anyways. And then this rifle is going to advance, and he rolls a 3. He's stuck for the battle. So I don't know what to do. I'll put a green on him to show that he's stuck for the battle. And he only has a range 1 attack, so chances are nothing's going to happen with him. Camera disconnected again. Jerk. And I think we've advanced everybody. It's actually really hard to keep track of who did and did not, especially, I guess, if you're tired, like I am. The 2 buildings don't advance, of course. They do have a range 2 attack, so we have to keep that in mind. So now, who gets to do attacks? We're just going to go from left to right, and we'll just resolve the attacks. First of all, the tank gets to attack, and our rifleman rifle unit here has a defense of 2, but so does the MG unit. And so basically it's 6 or 1/2, so we get to choose who they're going to attack. And I'm going to have them attack the rifle unit. So as always, they roll 2 dice, and we roll 2. And I might be able to roll here now because you guys can see the dice a lot easier now with the camera zoomed in. So let's try that. So what you could see is they rolled a 1 and a 6. And then we have a 10 and a 2. All right, so as far as the attacks go, they hit with a 3 or less, and they're shooting at 3 away. And the range attack penalty shooting at 3 or away is 2. So that means they hit with a 5 or less, so this 6 hits. And we don't block the 6 with our blue 10, so that doesn't do squat. So we do take a hit. So I'm drawing, and I got a suppressed token. And now the other camera is not connected. Boy, oh boy, there is definitely something strange going on here. There it is. All right, so we got a suppressed token. And that goes on our rifle team. Okay, so tank is done. Next, we move to here. Both of these guys can't hit anything. And we go here, range 1, range 1, range 2, nothing, range 2, nothing, nothing. This one does get to shoot at us, but he gets a penalty because he moved. And bear with me, range modification when attacking. So one thing to always remember that if you attack at range 0, you get a bonus to your attack. I always forget about that. The bonus is whatever your move and attack penalty would be. So if you shoot at a range 0, you do get a bonus. I don't think that's the case if you're moving, or maybe because your move and attack penalty applies if you move into range 0. It's a very weird weird rule, because if you're at range 0, you gain a move and attack penalty in your favor. So instead of it being against you, you get it for you. But if you moved and attacked in order to get to range 0, you get the penalty. So then you're getting the bonus because you're at range 0. That's the part that's weird. So you sort of like negate yourself. So moving and attacking really doesn't harm you. But in this case, they did move and they are attacking, and it's a tank. So it's going to be a -1 to their ability to hit. And they're going after a soft target. And so I'm going to do the rifleman unit again. The soft target normally would be a 3, but they're going to get a -1, so it becomes a 4. And then because they're shooting at range 3, they're going to get a -2. So that means they need to hit with a 6. And they did get an 8, which means they hit. So let's find out how bad this is going to be. And the commander's wounded. So that's not good. Rifle team commander is wounded. Okay, so then we move to these two guys, and they get to attack, and I'm going to have them attack the MG team because I don't want our other guy to die. So they do shoot at a range of 1, so they actually don't shoot anybody. So we're done. This one here is stuck, so he doesn't get to move anymore. Okay, so we survive their onslaught. Now it's to us again, and camera disconnected. So getting annoying. We did the whole Thunderbolt Apache Leader playthrough, 2 full campaigns, and never had this issue happen once. So I honestly and truly, I hosted a board game night and we moved our equipment around, and I don't know what changed. So something did, and I would love to get to the bottom of it. Okay, so our turn. I'm really nervous because we don't have a lot of firepower here, and there's a lot of them. And if we advance, we're basically going into a hornet's nest. So I want to take out as much as we can. Uh, so let's start with the basics. Our MG nest. Um, well, first of all, my defense roll is more than a 2. It's a 3. So if I roll a defense roll of 3, I would have defended something. I hope I didn't make a mistake that worked against me there. Machine gun can only attack at a range of 1. So right now, this guy's useless. I don't want to move him and attack with him because he gets too stressed just for doing that. And then he puts himself in harm's way because a lot of things are going to be able to hit him. The rifle unit can only attack at a range 1 as well. So the transport unit can only attack at a range 1. So we got a lot of issues with our ability to be able to hit something. However, our artillery can attack at a range 3, and so can our Panther. So the Panther, I think I want to get a tank. We definitely want to hit a tank with it. So I'm going to start with my Panther, and I'm going to move him, which is going to give me a penalty. But I'm going to go into light cover, which will help. And I want to hit a tank. And so I'm going to hit this tank way out here in the bog. So we're going to shoot at that one. It doesn't matter which tank we go after. I just want to get rid of one of them. Actually, no, I'm not going to shoot the one in the bog. I'm going to shoot this one because he has the ability to move and not get bogging penalties. So we're going to go after this guy right here. Okay, so my attack is a 4. And just for the benefit, because this is still early in the campaign, that's where I look. My attack is a 4. Okay. I get a -1 when I attack and move, which is what I just did. Oh, and I forgot to show you, I'm using these for my SO points. I had 3. I finished that last mission with a large tank, so I had to pay an SO point to repair it. Or it's just part of the rules. When you have the large, you have to pay an SO point at the end of the battle, or you lose the tank and the commander. So now I'm down to 2. And I'm just going to set this off to the side for now. Okay. All right, so like I said, I get I hit with a 4. However, I'm attacking 3 spaces away, so I also get the -2 attack penalty. And then I get another -1 because I moved. So that 4 becomes a 5, 6, 7. I only hit with a 7. All right, does that make sense? Okay, and so let's roll for the attack, Autobots. And that's an awful roll, 5 and a 3. Now I have a commander that adds a 1, so that 7 turns into a 6, but it's still not the 5 that I rolled. I needed at least a 6. And camera just disconnected again. Damn it. Okay, so my tank missed, and that is catastrophic for us because I really needed to take out one of their tanks for just to reduce the amount of damage they're doing to us, because they seem to have no problem hitting us. I just want to make sure I did it right. So the 4 becomes a 5, and then a 6, 7, because I'm attacking at range 3, and then I make it a 6. Yeah, I did it right. Okay, so we missed. And then I have an artillery that I'm not going to move, and I'm just going to try to hit one of these infantry up here, because those are the only thing in range. And so, again, I get a -2 penalty because I'm attacking at range 3, but I get a +1 because of my leader. And it hits a soft target on a 6, and you can see I got an 8 right here. This other one was a 4. They defended at a 9, which is a miss. The 4 would have also been a miss. So I do get to hit, and there's a rifle unit, I think I said, and there's an anti-tank unit next to them, but I hit the rifle unit. So rifle unit down, and somebody suggested that since they're hard to see, if I put this on, it shows that it's destroyed. So that's what I'll do. That one is destroyed. And now my transport unit could try to transport this artillery forward. So, but the thing is transport units are sort of worthless because if I transport the artillery forward, it can't move or attack during the same turn. So transport units got really nerfed in this upgrade. Transport unit can move 2 spaces though. That part is the part that's not nerfed, I guess, if you wanted to get 2 spaces out of it. And so what I think I'm going to do is, the problem is if I move my transport up too much, it's then going to be the target of every single attack. I get a -2 to my attack if I move. What I wanted to do maybe was get my transport up and try to finish off this anti-tank up here. But I just don't think that's a smart move. So instead, what I'm going to do is I am going to move it 2 spaces, but I'm just going to go into here and sit tight with everybody else. Unfortunately, that's all we can do. So now we go to 5, and it's their turn again. So I'm going to roll, and I rolled a 7, and they get the exact same movement again. So the tanks will advance only if they cannot attack. All right, so the tanks are both going to sit still because both tanks can attack. And they are going to attack my transport actually this time. So, because he has the lowest defense value of everything. So then we move on to the riflemen and the half tracks and the MG. And they are going to do an HE advance. Remember, this rifleman is stuck, so he can't do anything. So this half tank is going to advance, and we're going to roll for him. I rolled a 7, so he stops attacking. I don't know what I should use to indicate that, but he doesn't get to attack this turn, so I'll just put a red on him. He's not destroyed, he just doesn't get to attack because he got bogged down. Okay, and then we said that the anti-tank will advance if it cannot attack. That would be, so this one's going to advance, this one's going to advance. I'm going to assume that they would rather advance outside of a bog. This rifleman advances, and this half-track advances. And as far as like who's within range and gets the range penalty, it's that one and that one. And yes, I froze up again. As you can see, it's saying that the encoding is overloaded. So I am getting a message about that, and I'll have to look up what that error means. So I guess I'm overloading the computer with my multiple cameras. Like I said, it never happened before, so I don't know what's changed. Then camera just disconnected. Ah. That sound you just heard was me dropping components all over the floor. I'm pausing 1 second. Okay, so this rifleman's going to advance, and I think that wraps it up. Now, who's in range to attack? Well, the 2 tanks are, and they're going after the transport. Now, the transport is in light cover, so I do get a defense value of 2 because of that. Tank number 1, I block with a 2. And so he hits with a 10. He does not hit with a 3, but I block with the 2, so nothing happens. So thankfully, the defense actually worked. Now let's go for the next tank. And again, I blocked with a 2. And so the 3 would have missed, but the 7 would have hit. So again, the 2 tanks don't get through, which was awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, the buildings are still out of range. This guy's out of range, and he's bogged down, right? This guy is in range, but because of his being bogged down, he can't attack. just for this turn. These two, this anti-tank, this rifleman, and this rifleman only have a range of 1. So all 3 of them are out of range. And so the only thing that's left is we got an anti-tank here, and we have a half-track there. Now, the anti-tank is going to attack whatever is the best, and so it is going to be the transport again. So we're going to roll for him. And he hits real easy, folks. So he's a big threat right now. And he just hit us twice. So our transport just got hit twice. And we got a gun and a glancing. Okay, so the gun and the glancing on the transport, we almost don't even care. The transport's not that great. He's just really absorbing hits right now, and like I said, getting experience points. But I do need to look up what gun is again. He cannot attack at range 2 or 3. That's okay. He can't attack at range 2 or 3 anyways. And then the glancing is like the bullet holes in Thunderbolt. That's going to cause us to take extra stress next mission if we, for the whatever commander uses the equipment. Okay, anti-tank is done. The only thing that's left is this this half-track. And we are in range for the half-track, but the half-track can only hit soft targets. So he's going to go after the machine gun nest. And he hits with a 5. Now, I do block with a 1. And I know I said he hits with a 5, but he gets a -1 penalty because he's attacking at a range of 2. So that 5 becomes a 6 for him. So this 5 actually misses, but this 8 hits. And we defended with a 1. His defense value is 2 plus 1 for the light defense or armor or whatever, the light cover. So for a 3 or less, we block, and we rolled a 1. So we actually blocked the hit, and that's a job well done. Now I'm going to take this red away because he was only unable to attack for just that turn because of the way the bogging worked. This green stays on for the whole battle. He's allowed to attack. He just can't move. And yes, camera went down again. Jerk. Okay, so now it's back to us, and we got to figure out something. Well, this anti-tank guy, it's an infantry, it's a soft target, it moved in range. I have an MG nest that can shoot at it, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So our MG nest, we just rolled an 8 and a 5. Now this one is normally a block. He has a defense value of 2 right here. However, per our card, it says add 2 to the defense rolls of all enemy in battle. So that 1 plus 2 becomes a 3. In fact, his defense roll can't block anything. So we made it through. What's crazy though is we hit with both attacks. So even if he would have blocked one of them, we hit with the other one. So anti-tank guy is dead. So now we're going to put that on to show his demise. Now my rifleman unit is out of range unless I want to move him, and I don't. So I'm going to sit tight with the rifle unit, and we're going to attack with the Panther again, and we're going to attack this tank that's up here one more time. And here we go. We got a 9 and a 7. Now let's recalculate. We hit with a 4, but we get a -2 penalty that becomes a 6. We did not move this time. So we hit with a 6, but then my commander gets a +1, so we actually hit with a 5. So we actually hit both times, and the tank is destroyed. Well done. And so this tank is gone. All right, next, we have our artillery. And the artillery is just as good at hitting armor piercing versus not. So what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to try to hit whoever's the biggest threat to us, which is actually these rifle units here. So we're going to shoot at one of those rifle units. And we hit it. Easy peasy. This one's a 7. We hit with a 6. We do get a -1 penalty because of our range, but the commander gives us a +1. So this rifleman, he goes down, and that's the way the battlefield looks. Now, I could move my transport forward and attack if I wanted. I can move my rifleman forward and attack if I wanted. In both cases, I could maybe get a couple extra attacks in, but I'm very nervous about their ability to swarm me, and I'm also would put myself in the range of these two buildings, which I don't want to get hit with. So we are at the end of the turn, so I'm going to move down to 4 turns now, and we're going to roll for their movement. I again rolled a 7, so the tank's not going to move, but the infantry will, and so nothing moves. These half tracks won't move, but these two are going to move, and everything but the buildings are going to attack. So what are they going to attack? The armored units are attacking the transport again. Transport's definitely the victim. And then the rifle unit will attack our MG nest. And so let's go. We'll start with the first tank. Oh, I rolled too many red dice. I got to roll again. All right, so I rolled a 1 and a 3, and both of those are misses because the tank is shooting from 3 away, so he gets a -2 to his roll. So we got really lucky there because our defense rolls stunk. Okay, and then we're going to do the 2 half tracks. Now these guys both do soft attacks, so they have to attack the MG nest. So we're going to go for the MG nest. This 1 is a miss, and this 9 is a hit, and we definitely don't defend it. So MG nest takes a hit, and I got 1 stress. And dang it, now the other camera's down. So you could probably see the 1 stress just popped up on the screen. And okay, so we ended up getting 1 stress from that attack. All right, so I think the only thing that's left, see, we did just the first half track, right? We still got to do the other half track. Oh my gosh, we still got a lot of attacks to go. So let's do the other half track now. And this is good. 2 and 2 are both misses. So, and we actually defended with the 1. So nothing there. Next up is the anti-tank. Now that one is going to shoot after the our transport, because our transport is a hard target. And it rolls a 3 and a 7. The 7 hits, unfortunately. And camera went down again. I'm really frustrated. Okay, so we took the hit, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to shut off my green screen, because maybe that'll help alleviate the situation. And we don't necessarily need that right now. So if I shut that off, maybe that'll help. Anyways, I'm hoping that we can at least get that. Okay, so I got an exposed. And that goes to the transport. I'm sorry, this is a hard hit. So I got an engine damage and 1 stress. So 1 more engine damage and I get destroyed there. So I get 1 stress for the commander, and that's not good. All right, then last but not least is their rifleman, and he's attacking. We're going to say he's attacking our infantry, the rifle squad. So the 2 is clearly a miss, but the 8 is a hit. And so let's do that one. And I drew a no effect. And so very, very lucky there. There's not that many no effects in this one. In Thunderbolt Apache Leader, there was this one draw where the pop-ups had no effect all the time, but that's not the case here. All right, in World War II, they expect you to take casualties. So that's the reason why there's so many units in this game. The issue I have with this particular game is if they expect you to take casualties, how on earth do you replace them? I mean, if you're getting 8 SO points a day and you need that to repair and replenish your troops, you have nothing left to replace your troops with. So it's really difficult to replace your troops in this game. If you're losing a lot of troops, you're losing the game. That's my best advice to you. I know you can't always control it because the dice are the dice and whatnot, but it's a really bad situation. Okay, so it's our turn. We finally get to do something, and so I'm going to use my machine gun nest, and we're going to attack the anti-tank group. So let's do that. And as you can see, I got a 5-5. I hit with a 2, so there's no need to do any math here. The anti-tank crew is destroyed. And we're not getting a lot of points, by the way, because remember, we're supposed to count, and if we have less than 12 points, so this is like, for example, this is 5, 10, just the 2 buildings, and then this tank makes it 12 without even breathing. What we're doing is we're taking out their units, yes, but we're taking out all their cheap units. And the thing is you have to, because those are the units that are swarming us at the moment. So I'm going to try attacking with my riflemen now against their riflemen, and my rifleman hits with a 6. And my commander does not give me any bonus, unless I'm willing to move into their space, and I'm not. So I just rolled a 9 and an 8, so that was awesome. And their 3 actually would have defended one of the hits, but it doesn't matter. You only need 1 hit to destroy it. And the 3 actually doesn't defend it because of that card that the viewer pointed out actually helps us, not hurts us. So there we go. Another infantry down. All right, so now I got my Panther here. My Panther is going to try to go after that tank up there that's out in the bog. So there we go. We got ourselves a 6, and I think that's a hit. So we hit with a 4, but we get a -2 because of our range, which turns it into a 6. But then my leader gives me a +1 that turns it back into a 5. So I hit with both of these, the 5 and the 6. This 3 would have blocked, except they get a +2 to their roll, so this actually wouldn't have blocked, but in a normal situation it would have. But I hit with both rolls, so it doesn't matter. Tank is destroyed. Okay, and then my artillery is going to go after this half-track. And I rolled a 5 and a 5. The artillery needs a 6, but I do get a +1 with my commander, which turns it into a 5. But I'm attacking at a range 2, which gives me a -1, so I missed with both of my attacks. So artillery is not quite as good yet until this commander gets promoted a few more times. But yeah, so we missed. So now we're down to 3 turns left. I am not going to destroy this battalion until I hit 1 more unit. They are exactly at 12 right now. So technically speaking, I guess I did knock them down to half strength. So now whenever I roll this die, we have to subtract 1. And just as a reminder, it's normally subtract 2, but because of this campaign, they only subtract 1. Okay? So I rolled a 9 for them, so they subtract 1, and it's the same exact roll they've been getting every time. And I do want to point out that since we disconnected the second camera, I am not disconnecting anymore with the first camera. So I'm wondering if it's just something with my computer that can't keep up. But we did so many hours of recording without this problem. So I will keep trying to sort that out, folks. I apologize. In the meantime, here we go. Anti-tank, advance if it cannot attack. Neither of them are going to advance. The infantry, nothing happens. So these 2 guys are attacking, and they both have a soft attack. So they're going to attack the rifleman unit. Oh, well, I'll just take this 8 out. No, I'll re-roll. I blocked both of them. So it doesn't matter which of the 3 dice they use. I blocked both of them. That's what I'm trying to get at. So I'm just going to count that. And then the other half track, that one's, I didn't block anything. This was a miss, but this one is clearly a hit. So our rifleman unit takes a hit. And we are immobile. And that's the thing where we either take a stress or don't get to attack next turn. And in our situation, I think it's okay to not attack next turn. So that's it. Their buildings can't move, and we're out of range. We're staying out of range for them. So now it's our turn. Our MG nest, if it moves and attacks, it's obviously going to take some damage. Our transport could move the MG nest. I don't want to do any of that. In fact, I'm totally happy with just sitting back. So my Panther is going to try to take out one of those half tracks. We're going to try to take out, well, actually, let's do the artillery first. We're going to try to take out this half track. And there you can see I rolled a nice 10. In fact, I rolled 1, 2, 3 10s and a 9. Well, the 10s aren't good for them. They're definitely good for us. Half track is destroyed. So now I got a choice. I can go after their half track, which prevents them from hitting us anymore, and I think that is the right choice. So I will make that choice, and here we go. I'm going to roll against the half track, and right there is a 10, but he rolled a 2. But remember, because of the card, this becomes a 4, so we do hit him. Half track destroyed. And I think I would have hit it even with this 4, because I only got a -1 to my die roll, because I'm only tacking 2 away this time. But it doesn't matter. It is destroyed, and now we're down to 2 turns left. Okay, there's 5, 10, and then this one actually is 11. So we do have it down to half strength. I did not have it down to half strength last time. So technically speaking, the AP would have advanced. I don't know if that would have made a difference, but they would have advanced. So my apologies there. So let's roll for them. There's actually no point in rolling. This guy can't move, and these guys can't move. So I think in all cases they're going to attack if they're in range. And nobody's in range, so they don't get to do anything. We're clearly out of range for them. So my artillery is going to go after their infantry. So we're going to do that. I do get a -2 to my die roll, and they block with the 1, even if you added +2. Yes, they do. So we don't hit their infantry with that roll. I needed a 6 or better. In fact, I needed a 7 or better in this case. Now my tank is going to try to take out one of these buildings. Those buildings have a defense of 4, folks. So thank goodness we have that card that adds 2 to their roll. But I'm going to go ahead and try to just hit this building right here. I rolled a 10, so I for sure hit. And the buildings rolled a 6, and they for sure missed. So this building is destroyed, and it's now down 5 points. So the battalion only has 6 points left, and half strength for this one or destroyed battalion is a 5. So that's where we're at. And because this camera is zoomed in so much, this actually looks really good. So having the green screen effect is not as necessary as, I guess, in other games. But anyways, we are down to the final turn, though. So I got to destroy this infantry or that building in order to do something. So they go first, and they don't get to do anything. I mean, I could roll for them, but who cares? I mean, they got a 6. They don't get to do anything. So that means I could move and attack, which would add stress to my guys. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to attack with my artillery, against their infantry. That's a 10. That's a hit with my artillery. This would have been a block, but it's not. The infantry is destroyed. And I apologize. I stopped using the red markers, but the only thing that's alive on the board right now is this guy. And I'm going to attack it with my Panther. Oh, we may have missed. Yep, we missed. So we don't get the final guy, but it doesn't matter. All we needed to do is reduce them to 5, and we win. So the 5 gives us the win. And we don't get bonus points for destroying the whole map. So let's get some of this put away. So these are anti-tanks. And these 2 should be the tanks. I'm just... we're going to be reusing American troops the whole game. So the one nice thing about this is there's not going to be as many unit variation. And it's nice and it's not nice because you're going to be facing these same units over and over and over again. So the buildings are always going to have the same stats. The tanks are always going to have the same stats. I guess that was true with Thunderbolt Apache Leader, but for whatever reason, this one just feels a little bit less. Okay, so I'm going to take back my units here. Good news is we didn't lose anybody. The bad news is we definitely took lots and lots of hits. All right, and then let's get these off the board. Let's clean this up. Those bugs actually helped us quite a bit. Prevented some units from moving and attacking. That one infantry unit got stuck, for example, the whole game, and we basically wiped it out at the end. So some stuff really worked out well for us. Okay. Now, what's next in our steps? We finished on the very last turn. We draw the event card for the way home. So this event card doesn't apply. So I'm going to discard that. And this event card doesn't apply anymore. So I'm going to discard that. And here's our coming home. Keep this card. Discard to pay all the SO points needed to pay for an attack against a transit, rear, or breakthrough battalion. So it basically lets us do a deep raid. I will definitely keep that in handy. So that's nice. Next. Battalion status. It is destroyed. So 7C here goes into the history books. And our... I know this is not going to be as easy for you guys to see, but 7C here is destroyed. And basically we got a XX, and from a victory point perspective, we got 3 from the second one, and then the first one we destroyed was also 3. So we're at 6 victory points after the first round. That's not bad. The ratings we need is we need 41 or more points to get a great evaluation. So that's going to be hard. I mean, we only got 6. 6 times 8 is 48. If I got that many victory points each week, I will not get... Well, no, 48 is... Yeah, that would get me a great rating. So actually, we're on pace to get a great rating. So there's your lesson, folks. You don't need to kill more than 2 battalions a week. Even though it looks like you've got so many more to do. All right, okay, let's start here. We got Coach, and we get 2 victory points for him. Smelter, he smelt it and he dealt it for 2. Ziegler gets 2. Saltz gets 2. And Albrecht also gets 2. And why are they getting 1 less? Because the other battalion actually gave an extra experience point for destroying it. This one did not. So, okay, that's week 1. Now, we're not quite at the end of week 1. Let's see. Oh, we got to assign stress to everybody. Remember, everybody gets 2 stress. So, Coach gets 2. Smeltzer gets 2. Ziegler actually gets 3 because he has a -1 cool. Saltz gets 2. And Albrecht gets 3. So some of my guys are pretty stressed out already. In fact, Albrecht is shaken, for example. So that's not good. Okay, so next we go to move battalions. So this is where we're rolling dice to move the battalions that you can't see. I don't have an easy ability to raise the camera here, but let's at least roll. So I'm going to do the assault, 13A here. So these guys are on the front line, by the way. I'm rolling a 10, which means they're going to advance. Now, the offense gives us a -3 to assault battalion rolls and -2 from support and command rolls, okay? So that 10 becomes a 7. And for an assault, that's still an advance. So he moves up, and we're going to lose 2 SO points. And then the next one is a 5, and it becomes a hold. And now I'm in their enemy transit. So I'm rolling for the first one, and that's a hold. That is a move backwards. And so one of the assaults move backwards. Here's another assault that's going to hold. Yet another assault, hold. And another assault is going to hold. And then this is a supply unit. It becomes a 5. He's holding. All right, now we're in the way back. This is a command unit. It holds. A supply unit. This isn't the actually. This is the enemy rear. The enemy breakthrough is way in the back. So this is a. I said it was. This one's a supply unit. Hold. An assault unit that's back there. Hold. I'm sorry, I didn't even say what this one is. This is an assault that's holding. Supply. Holding. Command. Okay, I'm rolling for buildings. I apologize. That doesn't work. Yeah, the rest are buildings. So, okay. So, just to, I know you have to. Let me see if I can maybe. There you go. I'm pushing the camera back here. That's the new State of the Union. You can see one unit moved into our friendly transit area, so that's going to cost us 2 SO points. One unit is on the front line. Everything else is in the rear. So enemy transit, there's the big large line is enemy rear, and then there's one teeny tiny unit all the way back in enemy breakthrough. Okay, so that's the situation for them after their rolls, and so then we get to adjust SO points. We get 8 SO points a week. How do I know that? Because this card says so. 8 SO points a week. Now we lose to 2 SO points because that one jerk moved up. So we're only going to get 6. Now here's my SO points. I have to pay 1 because my my tank was a large, the Panther. So I have to pay 1, but then now I'm going to get 6. And so just trying to find. Here we go. So here's 6 SO points, right? Okay. So next up is we can repair and replace, and we have priority R&R. Priority R&R, I need to look up like how much that would cost us to do. It's not really listed anywhere. So let me open up the rule book. Okay, so during repair and replace, we can purchase units. And remember that we can always upgrade a unit. So whatever the cost was for the original unit gets counted towards the cost of the new unit. Now, one cardinal rule, you can even like trade in 2 units to upgrade to a 3rd unit. But the cardinal rule is you can never have more commanders than you have units. So if you trade in 2 armor units to get a new Gucci infantry unit or something, your 2 armor commanders have to leave, and you're gonna have to grab a new infantry commander. You can't keep your commanders across multiple units. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that right now. I am going to sort of. There's an order. We're supposed to decide repair and replace before we do anything else, but I'm going to withhold and let's do the math to figure out, can I upgrade one of my transports to like the recon unit or the anti-tank unit? That's what's going through my mind. And so like I said, you could purchase, you can upgrade, which we talked about. You can replace commanders who are killed in action or wounded. And then if a unit's destroyed but its commander survives, we either purchase a unit or discard the commander. Okay. Next thing we can do is we can repair units and heal commanders. We use SO points to repair units. 1 SO point removes 1 damage. It requires 2 SO points, though, to remove an engine counter. And a unit may participate in battle while damaged, blah, blah, blah. You may spend an SO point to discard a command wound counter as well, so you can heal a commander for an SO point. Priority R&R costs 5 SO points. And if you do that, you can remove 2 stress from every commander in your group. Okay, 5 is rather expensive. But let's talk here. First thing up is I have Albrecht here. He's a commander of mine, and you can see he has the mechanic. So he's going to get to repair 1 damage on an armored unit for free. Now, he also would have allowed me to avoid the SO cost of the large penalty, but I paid the large penalty. So I knew I had enough damage on my units that it doesn't matter. Now, Ziegler here is a medic. So he's going to remove something from an infantry or a soft target. Okay. And then Coach here is a medic and a mechanic. So I'm basically going to get to remove 2 things for free. And the number one thing that I recommend that you do is, if you caught me reading the rules to you, the engine costs 2 SO points to remove. Everything else only costs 1. Well, the mechanic gets to remove the engine for free. So we're going to remove that damage with the mechanic skill. And so then nothing bad happens to us. And then I'm going to remove the glancing with my other mechanic skill. This gun prevents me from shooting 2 or more spaces away. This thing only has a range of 1, so who cares? Okay, here's the Panzer II. He can't shoot 2 or more spaces away, and he has gun damage. And he has actually a second gun damage, so who cares? But we do have, well, this exposed goes away. And I shouldn't put these on the... So he's got 2 gun damage. That doesn't hurt him 1 bit. His suspension is bad, and so is the MG. So I could spend 2 SO points to remove these. That's one thing to consider, okay? And now if I did that, actually I don't want to do that. My other Panther took damage. So I am spending 2 SO points to heal my Panther. I'm going to get rid of the glancing and the hull damage on my other Panther. Boy, that first battle was brutal, wasn't it? Now let's talk about our infantry. The infantry, we have... I got to get rid of the exposed, because the exposed doesn't do anything to me. Neither does the immobile. The suppressed. That doesn't do anything to me either. All right, so this commander is wounded. Commander Saltz. So I'm going to use my medic skill to remove his wounded, and he's fully healed. And he was the commander of the rifle. And then we had the 88 artillery, if you remember. I had a commander wound on him, and I have a casualty, so I'm going to use a medic to remove the wound from him. So I have 5 SO points left. I could remove the casualty from this one. I could remove the 2 damage to the Panzer II, or I could try to upgrade like my my transports, or I just keep it. I mean, there's so many choices, right? This transport, by the way, has 4 points, right? So it's 4 points towards my upgrade. If I wanted to, like, for example, get my recon out, it gives me 4 command tactics. That's 13 points. So as you know, I need 9 points to get to him. I need 6 points actually to upgrade the other one. So I actually don't have enough. Now I could do priority R&R to remove 2 stress from everybody, because some of my units actually aren't in fighting shape at the moment because they took too much stress. But I think I'm going to wait, and I'm going to hold on to my 5 points. It might behoove me to heal some of these guys, but I have some units that are shaken, and I'm going to send them into battle anyways, even though they are shaken, largely because if they get enough experience points, they're going to level up, and then we'll use the priority R&R next time, and that'll benefit everybody. So, yeah, we're in a little bit of a pickle, but it's not the end of the world. War is hell, right? And so we have some damage. We have some units that are not in great shape. but we also have some units that are doing fine. So that ends week 1. And we'll go ahead and start week 2 in another video. And I will probably prioritize those. Well, we got the issue of this guy here, right? He's preventing us from, he's causing us to lose 2 SO points. Had I had those 2 SO points, we would have had a lot more cushion. So we got an issue there, and then we would need to, so my thoughts are, I need to get rid of these battalions that are causing us to discard 1 tactic or command tactic at the start of all battles. That's not a good thing. All right, well, thanks for watching. Stay awesome, and sorry for the technical difficulties there. As soon as I disconnected the second camera, I've been doing great, so that's not a good sign. But anyways, we'll see you soon.